Hey, boys and girls, welcome to Faz Radio. We got some updates for you, so let's get started. I dragged Titan in here for this.
It's it's like confusing. It makes me feel like it's a Friday night all over again.
I know, it's weird. But this is Saturday. I just wanted to give an update because we were just starting. We've been talking in the last two Faz Radios about what appeared to be some hack or mint or something of on a bridge, on the pGALA bridge, which is something that was created by a company called Network. So yesterday I reported that I lost some Gala on the Bitrue exchange. I did a trade and they swapped it out with some new coins, with a new coin that they called pGALA. So let's go back in time a little bit and kind of give perhaps a reason why this happened. Apparently, Network had a bridge issue with their pGALA, something like there were keys in the contract, but no one noticed. I actually posted their postmortems, Gala's and Network's postmortems here in the comments. Well, anyway, at some point, they or Gala Games perhaps apparently got together to talk about it. And from the best I can tell, Gala demanded Network and to fix their bridge issue. Maybe they even bullied them, or I don't know. Whatever the case is, I think Network might have acted a little bit rashly and hacked their own liquidity pool by minting a lot of Gala. I'm not sure. It's in the docs that I posted to drain it so that nobody would be harmed. Well, this apparently caused exchanges like Bitrue and Binance to totally just lose their shit, freak out, and lock all Gala bought during this time period. And apparently, from what I read elsewhere, Binance is locking like the entire account, like everything in the account for some people. Bitrue issued some worthless paper called pGALA. And then they had some sort of press release where they explained that they took the Gala and issued this worthless paper. And to their credit, they did say, we'll tell you what becomes of this pGALA. So maybe that's their way out to kind of reverse things. I do get the sense that Bitrue might just wind up giving me back my Gala based upon all the facts. Apparently, there was no real hack. Apparently, or if it was, Network hacked themselves to protect people so that they can fix things and shut down the liquidity pool. That's what I found out in the last day. Just looking around and asking people. There's been a lot of FUD going around, especially on CryptoFaz Academy, of people lying, people colluding, whatever. Okay, that could certainly be happening because right now I'm seeing that everybody's pointing fingers at everybody else. Gala immediately pointed fingers to Network. Network, if you look in their postmortem, which I posted there, the first thing they say is, "Hey, look, we're not responsible for what any exchanges do." But apparently, Gala has agreed to work with has worked with the exchanges in regards to this whole thing. So, according to the postmortems that they put out. So it seemed like the whole thing was just a big clusterfuck with a lot of different crypto technologies, a lot of decentralized technologies, supposedly that were designed to work well together. Somehow not working well together, but they're not working well together because some humans got in there and in a very non-decentralized way fucked with it, and it blew up in their face. So that's my 2 cents on what I've found out. If some of it's wrong, read the documentation what they have, but that's what I got.
So they were surprisingly calm throughout this whole thing. Gala is the who on that. They from what was posted in the Gala postmortem on Medium, they'd known since Thursday. And that's probably why they were calm. A lot of people on CFA had said, oh my goodness, there was one person made a comment, something about Bitbenders playing video games while this exploit is going on, yada, yada, what in the hell? So that might be the why behind the why on that, because he had already done what he needed to do by reaching out to the exchanges and doing everything he could on that side. I had thrown a couple questions at him because he had popped his head in one of the chat rooms on the Gala server and said, hey, how about some feedback on our article, and let us know what your thoughts are. So I threw him a couple questions. I posted those, and I promised to circle back with those answers. And he made a reasonable response to that. He had said, my question was, if Gala knew on Thursday and notified exchanges then, why wasn't the community given notice that they should not interact with pGALA at that point also? And he said, we notified everyone right away as soon as P Network had put a tweet out on it. We pushed that, and we posted in Discord and everywhere else we could at the time. So I did not. I was busy today. We had a 75-degree day here in November, so I was outside all day winterproofing everything. I did not circle back to see when the Discord announcements or when the tweets went out. It kind of sounded like a little bit of a deflection there, because I don't know if that was on Thursday or not. If it wasn't on Thursday, I kind of have a little bit of an issue with that. In my opinion, they should have told everybody the instant that they knew, put something out, not waited for P Network to say anything, just put out the fire hose that they have on Twitter, on Discord, and every announcement channel. They've got like 12. Hey, we want you to know that we're working with P Network. There's an issue with the pGALA token. Do not interact with the contract at this point at all. That's all they had to do. So I don't know. I'm not going to accuse them of something, but the way that he phrased that made it sound like it may not have been on Thursday when they found out.
Oh, so I have a comment on that. I've been one of the big. I've been really big on calling out Gala Games for getting ahead on their messaging and stuff like that. But this is an interesting situation, because this is another company. This is not Gala. This is another company that decided to put up a bridge. Now, to be fair, some people are saying, well, Gala was part of that. Well, they may or may not have been part of that. I'm sure that maybe they've always cajoled people into doing things with Gala. Hey, you want to do this with Gala, right? I mean, they say these kind of things all the time. You know, if anybody wants to do something with Gala, we'll be happy to help you. So the question is, who has command and control in a decentralized FUBARD situation? And from P Network's documentation, it sounds like they agreed that Gala would do some of that, but they gave a time in which they agreed on these things, and I think that's important. I have a feeling that, you know, shit went down. I think of P Network kind of like, you know, Gala Games is the car company making the car, and P Network is putting the tires on the car. You know, what time does the car company let you know that the tires are fucked? Well, you know, it's if these are Bridgestone tires, they'll probably get with Bridgestone and say, hey, Bridgestone, are you gonna make an announcement? Bridgestone might be like, oh, let me go see. Let me see what's going on. I'm sure there's a lot of ass covering on all these sides. Meanwhile, you know, it was said in the documentation that Gala has went and would go talk with exchanges. Of course, the connotation there is, wait a minute, in a decentralized situation, why would Gala go talk with the exchanges? So if you have a car, back to my car analogy, built out of decentralized parts, decentralized tires, decentralized gas tank, you know, decentralized distribution center and stuff like that, who takes control when shit goes wrong? And gee, this went on for 2 days, and now we have a post-mortem from two different actors in here. We're still waiting on the exchanges to figure out what they'll do. But boy, that's a whole lot quicker than other fucked up situations. So, I mean, I've got to give some props for that. There's a story, a semi-coherent story going out right now, and detractors basically say, "Why didn't you tell us sooner?" Well, maybe they were just getting their shit together. I mean,
so maybe somebody smarter than me could fill in the gaps on this in CryptoFaz. So I know enough to be dangerous about Binance Chain, right? I've played around on it quite a bit. I have, I don't know, maybe half a dozen or so BSC chain tokens. I can interact on PancakeSwap. I know my way around, but I don't know the technicals on that. I assume, I'm going to make some assumptions here, and please tell me if I'm wrong, all you experts in the Binance chain and how things work with tokens on different chains. I don't know if Gala provides tokens or liquidity or anything to create these pGALA tokens, or if it's a completely different animal. Just anybody could make a pGALA token and throw it up there. Someone has to agree somewhere, though, that if you bridge it back over to ETH, that it turns into Gala. Okay, so I don't know the specifics. Maybe Anthony could comment on that. He's really good with that stuff. If someone can poke him and maybe explain to us how that works so that I don't butcher it and get it wrong. I don't want to throw out wrong information. But Gala has to be involved in there somewhere. I don't know to what extent. I'm pretty sure it's just on the bridge side. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have anything to do with the actual pGALA token. On the P network postmortem, they list the times, and I'm looking right now at the Gala Games Twitter. They put a timeline out of exactly when they put out a tweet and when they notified him. Apparently it was on Thursday, according to this. So I'm going back to Thursday on the Gala
well,
Twitter.
remember, let me be clear. Thursday was when I bought this stuff. Now, I had bought mine much earlier in the day than their times say. I have a feeling that as they figured stuff out, well, you had people doing different things. The exchanges were doing things on their time frame, and Gala and P Network apparently had some correspondence there. But I expect some sloppiness, and I want to bring this up because a lot of people have been mentioning this in response, or at least I've been hearing a lot of FUD about it. Is, well, if this is such a decentralized network. Okay, if you have a decentralized network, or if you have something decentralized and you've put something together, you're going to be aware of what you put together. And if you see something wrong, you're going to start spreading the word. So, the fact that somebody is trying to figure things out and take control of the situation, and it seems that Gala and P Network were working together to take control of the situation, that's cool. Now, if you look at P Network's documentation, it just says, we agreed that this would happen. P Network would fix the bridge, and Gala would go talk to the exchanges. They didn't say who said what, like if Gala bullied them into it or whatever. But they didn't say what happened in the meeting, only that they agreed to do it. So what I'm getting at, though, is the FUD seems to be around, this isn't decentralized. This is all collusion. These guys are in bed with each other. Holy shit. What the fuck? No, sounds like a clusterfuck, dudes. And, shit's sloppy. I detect a lot of sloppiness. But for all the sloppiness, they have some Medium articles out 2 days later explaining the whole story.
So I did go back and confirm that Gala on the Twitter shared the tweet that P Networks did at the time. They said they did on Thursday. Here's my only gripe on that. They shared the tweet, okay? They managed to do 2 other posts regarding SpiderTanks before Bitbender came in and said, hey, before you panic about Gala, read this thread. So that, to me, all he's basically doing is retweeting stuff.
Well, they wonder
why it got out of control.
It would seem that the first thing they said was, "Hey, not us." That's all.
Well, it's okay. So finally, then let's see, that would be about 4 hours later. The Gala Games posted update for everyone. There's a lot of FUD out there surrounding Gala. Lots of people tossing around words like hack and rug. Neither of these is the case. Do I think they could have been a little bit more forthcoming at that point and maybe written those a little bit better instead of leaving everything up in the air with no details on anything? Yeah, they could have.
How could they have found out the details if they're telling you things as they're learning things? I mean,
they're not. They're not.
I mentioned this in the last Faz Radio. Okay, is this a situation like, what did you know and when did you know it? I mean, is it like the president of the United States has to be pinned to the wall?
Yes.
Really? Why?
Yes, because if you read the link you posted on the P Network, it has a timeline of who knew what when.
Well, I'm happy that they volunteered it, but you got to remember when things happen, people may not be posting things, religiously as they happen. You probably have pandemonium in various places trying to figure out what the fuck went wrong. They're not going to be like, okay, update right now. Everybody's tearing their hair out because they can't figure out what's who to contact first. Update again. Oh, we figured something out. We might be on to something. But what you have there is people being quiet for a while, and then when they get their shit organized, when they get their ducks in order, which frankly any good manager would ask them, tell me the story when you get your ducks in order. Don't just blab everything at the time. So I respect that they certainly should give more detail at the time, but who's the person to do that? Who's the command and controller there?
Both of them, because they had a war room set up 3 hours before that.
Okay.
Again, read the article you posted, and Gala knew exactly what was going on and what they were going to do hours earlier. So,
remember when you're working with multiple people, you got to come to an agreement. That might be what they wanted to do, but maybe the other guy wanted to hold off.
So I'm not going to beat this into the ground because it's not like a really big deal. My point is that they could have communicated it way better and said, guys, look, what you're seeing is intentional. It's supposed to be being done like this. We'll tell you why very shortly. But everything that's happening, we are in a war room right now with the P Network people, and everything that's supposed to be happening is happening. Do not interact with the contract while they do this. That's what I'm saying, because people then don't pull out the words hack and rug, and CFA doesn't get filled with a day's worth of conspiracy theories. Had they just communicated something simple without even all the details yet, but something as simple as everything is going the way it's supposed to be going, right? This is supposed to happen this way. Just stay out of the contract. Do not try and take advantage of this or you'll be sorry. right? So that's my complaint there. So I'm not saying they did anything wrong.
Joel Rick here says, in the Discord, we repeatedly said not to use Pancake Swap over and over and over, and we posted the Twitter link in which he explained it. So it is okay. So one of the reasons I haven't gone very critical on Gala should have said more is, to be honest, I don't know if they said more. I was actually worried about other things, and I hadn't paid that close of attention. But the more I look, the more I see that they actually said these things. And really, I think the question is, what are people expecting? Are they expecting communication in one specific channel? Because, well, Joe Rick might have a point in that they said it on the Gala Discord, but, you know, is there a place that everybody knows to look first? That kind of thing. So there might be a number of reasons why people didn't get these communications and why they're thinking these things now. The very fact that they're thinking them means that they weren't informed in an easy way. So I can grant that from what you're saying, but it sounds like they did say things early and often.
Yeah, I'm looking through there. And you know, you are in super defensive mode here. Why is that?
No, I'm trying to be even-handed. So yesterday I was pissed. I was very pissed because I had lost my Gala, and I was pissed at Bitrue, and I didn't know why. And what I thought was Bitrue must have a reason for doing this. Turns out today that their reason was, in my opinion, they probably panicked, and Binance probably panicked. But they honestly, I think they panicked for good reason. They saw the bridge, being hacked by they didn't know by who, or they were confused about the details, and so they shut everything down, probably thinking it's a security thing. Now, I wouldn't misconstrue me trying to tell things the way that it's been announced as a defense, but I would strongly suggest that we look to understand before making judgments. And I heard a lot of judgments yesterday about bad things going on. Gala Games themselves said that, in their tweets, there's a lot of FUD and judgments going on. So there's a point to all that. And the best I can say is that there was a lot of confusion and people took things the wrong way.
So Joel Rick is correct. And I went back and I looked at the global announcements where this was coming out. Bitbender was right on top of it. They did explain in more detail as they talked about. So a lot of us did jump to conclusions before figuring out the whole story.
And I was called a Gala apologist yesterday because I was suggesting that we find out the why behind the why, find out the facts, show some evidence, and no evidence was shown by the FUDsters. What it was people were just afraid.
Well, as they should be, because that's big money. A lot of people have a lot of money tied up in Gala. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
money.
So you are a Gala apologist, and I've accused you of that for 18 months now.
All the evidence, man. If that makes me an apologist, then that's what it makes me. But that means the reality is Gala. It wasn't Gala's fault.
Well, it as far as I can tell, and again, I don't know BSC and P networks well enough to say whether or not it was Gala's fault.
I'm willing to say, frankly, that everyone was confused by what was going on, that it was a situation that they really weren't prepared to deal with, especially the exchanges. Mm-hmm. If you noticed, Gala points the finger at P network points the finger at the exchanges. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, so as this unfolds, I'm glad we're talking about it here tonight, because as we're reading this, the whole thing is becoming crystal clear. A lot of, and we're guilty of this too. We did 2 shows without doing a lot of reading, so we're guilty of that too. We read the quick and dirties instead of digging in, which we probably should have done.
Well, I do like to advertise Faz Radio as, layman, and the laymen are going to understand something a certain way, and not all laymen are going to be able to dig as deep. I'm not trying to be. I don't think we should be investigative reporters. I think we should be like anyone else. What the fuck is going on? Hey, I heard this. Hey, I heard that. But I wanted to come back on today because we had gotten it so wrong. But to be honest, we actually didn't state a lot of things wrong. We just didn't go that deep into it yesterday and the day before. We're like, hey, shit's fucked up. How's it fucked up? I wonder if it's this. I wonder if it's that. And I think we're pretty honest about our intentions.
Yeah. So I think now that we've put all this together, sitting down and actually going through all of this wasn't as bad as people had led us to believe that it was. And I do think that there is a problem. Well, I shouldn't say a problem. This raises a great opportunity for a conversation about what these exchanges have as far as communication with the projects that have tokens on their platform, right? So with Bitbender reaching out to all the exchanges and saying, hey, we discovered a problem. We've been notified there's a problem. You guys got to shut this down. And when that goes to the spam inbox over at an exchange, or somebody reads it and doesn't take action, or there isn't an emergency team at these exchanges to be able to be on a hotline directly just for when things like this happen, that's something that should probably be fixed.
Agreed. That's exactly it. This is showing the need, in my opinion, for more of this kind of cooperation to be expected in the future, where we have a lot of technologies that are operating in a decentralized way, and it's very easy for one actor to just point to another one and say, your fault, it's all you. But it would be certainly nice if everybody was set up to work well together to head things off to protect people.
Well, I'm not so sure about protecting people, but just having that emergency response system, because we're up to 24,000 shitcoins out there at this point. And there's going to be a lot of them that are going to have problems like this because, it sounds like, and again, here we go down the speculation road because I don't know enough to talk too intelligently about it. P Network creating this token and creating this pool. And if it's true that, Gala didn't have to sign off on anything, or, this is just like this rogue company that decides to go out and create a liquidity pool like that. So it's decentralized. They should be able to do just that. But the exchanges do have to step up and take some kind of responsibility with those actors when they list that token on the exchange. So if Bitrue or Huobi or any of the others that are there, they need to then have the means available. If they're going to accept that token onto their platform, they have to have an emergency response team and make it clear to all the people involved, P Network and all the people like Gala, hey, if there's a problem, here's the exact steps you need to take, and we're going to be there to push that button if something goes wrong and disable anything we need to disable so that things don't go sideways even worse than they do when there's a problem.
It would have been nice for Bitrue to say in its press release that we're working with Gala and P Networks to find, or we're working with all the people involved. They don't even have to know to figure out how to make things right. But instead, they're like, if you traded during these times, this is bad. we've done this. But yeah, that's a good point. I don't want to make this too long because I don't think we have a lot going on, and I know you have to get going soon. But I wanted to switch gears if you were in the mood for that.
Well, I did want to throw out one last comment on this, in that the biggest complaint that I saw was people saying, well, I accidentally bought, I bought the dip on this Gala, and they locked my whole account. My USDT, my Bitcoin. Okay. Yes, that's going to happen. Imagine if you were running a business where people are exchanging things that are going to pull money. They're going to exchange it into another token and yank it off your platform. That's going to cost you money. So until Bitrue and Huobi and all these other places, until they figure out exactly what the hell's going on, they're absolutely going to push the button and stop transactions, any transactions, from happening in those accounts until they figure out what's going on. And it's perfectly normal. It's perfect. You should expect that. That's why we tell you, don't leave any tokens on an exchange. Get them off of there if you're not actively transacting in them. So don't panic about that. Once everything settles, it might take a week, it might take 10 days, then they will most likely uncheck the box that says account suspended, and you'll be able to transact as normal. If that bothers you, do not leave your tokens on an exchange. Put them into MetaMask, put them into a hardware wallet ideally, but do not leave anything on an exchange. If you have a limit order open, that won't affect you anyway. It's not going to freeze the limit order. They're not going to stop you from executing that limit order if it's in there. They're only restricting what you can take out of the platform. So don't leave your coins on exchanges, folks.
That's some good advice. It is worth noting that some people traded Gala. I read some stories where some people traded Gala and they immediately moved their coins off the exchange, their Gala coins off the exchange. But then what happened was the exchanges then just sold their other crypto to get that money back and then lock that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're not going to be at risk. That exchange.
They've seen this shit happen before, and yes. Had that person not had any other coins in their account, their account would have been suspended at that point.
Yes, and again, it sounds like I'm being a complete asshole, but if you don't like it, don't leave your coins there. Buy your stuff on Uniswap or 1inch or whatever decentralized exchange is available. And if you want to complain about fees, that's why you pay those fees. It's a convenience fee to not have to deal with the things that exchanges do.
Well, let's be a little bit realistic about this, because you don't leave your money on the exchange, and that guy moved the money off the exchange. So something to be aware of, that if you are suspected in a hack, your wallet, the wallet you transfer to will also get flagged. And so what I did is I made my trades, and this stuff was going on. And when I learned about the hack, I'd actually set a limit sell at 4 cents. And when I learned about the hack, I went and shut off the sell, because I figured, if there's a hack, they might think that I'm taking advantage of it or something. And I also did not move my Gala out of the exchange, because I figured if I did, whatever wallet I sent to would get flagged. And so I decided to leave it. I kind of figured that something might happen. I wasn't sure, but then it did. So I was definitely pissed about that. But I also recognized that what might happen, they're going to get you either way if you really think about it. If you do that and you transfer your money off, you could get flagged.
Absolutely. And these things are going to happen. It just so happened to be Gala today. It's going to be your other favorite token a week from now, or a month from now, or a year from now. This stuff is going to happen because I don't think P Network was being malicious with that. They obviously had an oversight that took them 67 days to bump into. But remember, this is new for everybody. Nothing is going to be perfect. The people building these smart contracts aren't going to be perfect every time. Do they need to be better? Yeah, because I've heard, I haven't confirmed it, but I've heard from people posting on CFA that this isn't the first time something like this has happened with P Network. So if I was P Network, I would be combing through every single token contract that was created under their name, pouring through it, looking for holes, because I guarantee you the black hats out there with this second one so close together exploit that was left in there, the black hats are going to be doing that for all the other tokens. So if you have BSC assets, you may want to lock them up into a hardware wallet at this point. You can use ledgers or what's that other one?
MetaMask?
No, the other hardware wallet. Trezor. There we go. Yeah, there we go. To make sure that they're locked up in there, because I promise you those black hats are combing through anything P Network has built.
Well, actually, Joe Rick brought up a good point in chat here. He says, especially if you KYC. And he was saying that, I believe, in response to me saying your wallet would get flagged. So this is actually one of the scarier things about KYC. So if your account gets flagged because there could be a crime, any wallet that you used to communicate with that exchange is likely going to get flagged too, especially if you've been KYC. Because if you've been KYC, they know about all the wallets you've used. So I guess I would have been screwed anyway if Bitrue would have said that I was a bad guy.
Oh yeah, they would find a way to lock something else up and make sure that they aren't going to lose any money.
Well, okay, so that's interesting. So in the last couple years, all this shit is starting to lock itself down. All this crypto infrastructure is starting to build itself out, and it's a little bit unnerving to see some of this infrastructure kind of half built out, and it's definitely unnerving. I've had a couple times now where I've sent things to Bitrue. It's gotten lost in the system, and then I've had to wait 2 or 3 weeks for Bitrue to unfuck what they have fucked with my accounts. And I'm actually fully expecting it here. I actually think that I will get my money back from Bitrue, but they have to figure it out. I don't think they're going to have a good excuse now because they were worried about a hack, and there is none.
Well, they did say here in the P Network post-mortem that they expect all the full recovery on all of this to be done by the 11th. Today's the 5th, probably. So yeah, about a week. And it looks like snapshots were taken. So people who did have the good pGALA, not the stuff that was white-hatted into becoming a worthless token, will be taken care of, and it'll all be put back, and nobody should be affected. That's at least what they're saying right now. Of course, we'll follow up and watch. They said the new smart contract is set to happen by Wednesday, November 9th. So about 4 days from now, the new contract with the short up reissue of pGALA will be sent out at that point. And it looks like it's going to be airdropped, the new token. So as a warning, because they are advertising that they are going to be airdropping tokens to replace the quote bad or old tokens, pay very close attention to the contract address that is legitimate for this before signing anything in MetaMask. You want to make sure you're interacting with the correct contract. There are people who will read this knowing that they're going to be airdrop tokens, and they will airdrop you exploitable contracts to get you to sign it in MetaMask. Please be extraordinarily careful when you see anything being airdropped to your wallet.
Well, how would you know the right contract? I mean, would you need to go to pNetwork's website or something?
I would hope that they would release that information. And let's scroll down. Okay, they posted the valueless contract address. I'm assuming, again, I don't work for either organization. I would assume that both Gala and pNetwork will make a very, very clear, very, very over-the-top set of communication that will list the exact contract address that you need to use when interacting with the new token. Use only the ones that are officially posted at either Gala or at pNetwork. And boys and girls, if you do not know how to add that correct contract into your MetaMask wallet, reach out to me or Faz or someone else in the CFA Discord. You guys know who the regular people are that you can trust in that Discord, the regular posters, and they will walk you through how to add the correct contract into your MetaMask. Okay.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I would certainly suggest that that we point people to the right people, point people to pNetworks for stuff regarding an airdrop that they're doing. I don't want to take responsibility for something that I'm not too aware of how it works. However, I'm happy to look into it and point you the right way. All right. On that note, I just wanted to say that we spent most of our time yesterday not actually talking about this hack, but complaining about SpiderTanks. And something I learned about the upgrade path with SpiderTanks was because we were complaining a lot about the very slow upgrade path, which it still is. They apparently upgrading your tanks alone causes you to earn more, and I suspect that they might have a very deliberately slow upgrade trajectory with that. That said, I haven't really heard of a strong, I don't know, intention behind this. They've been a bit vague about how the upgrades work, and I know in some channels they've explained a lot more, but I don't think it's public how the upgrades work.
Also, I'm reading here in the SpiderTank announcements on the Gala game server that some people apparently have had the upgrades disappearing.
I had
Chair
one of my
Bandit
tank skins disappear.
Yeah, so Chair Bandit posted and said they'll be pushing out a fix on Monday that'll restore everything. And they're also asking that between now and then, you do not spend any components to re-upgrade those tank parts to prevent additional issues after they publish the fix. I know, it's like a fire hose of information. They can post this stuff in these announcements, and most of the people miss it because they throw out so many announcements.
Then I missed it because I was upgrading my tank today, and I was like, wait a minute, wasn't I higher? I was a little bit confused, but I was like, okay, I went and did it. So I take it I might even lose those upgrades because I didn't somehow see that announcement. You know, we've said this before. I really do think, guys, Gala Games, please listen to us. Is there any way that you can put these announcements in the game? I mean, make it so that you just look at a database record or something, and whenever the database loads up, and it's like, okay, the news is, emergency, don't do this. Townstar started doing that at a certain point. But especially in these new games like SpiderTanks, do it in the game itself. People can't miss it then. Make them have to click OK on it. We know about this problem that's going to happen. Just give us a couple days or whatever in the application.
Well, okay, so if we're going to go down and open up the can of worms on
no. I didn't want to open up like a can of worms on all the things wrong that we had. My primary issue with Gala games has always been messaging, and I'm just suggesting another vector for the messaging. I'm sure that there's many other things wrong, but if there is, at least a better vector of messaging makes it so that their solutions can be communicated better. I see a lot of, with this pGALA stuff, with this P-network stuff, and with SpiderTanks, I see communication holes where people justified in a very justified way, they don't get the information, they assume the wrong things, they get angry, they get pissed, they go probably give Gala games a piece of their mind, and Gala is like, but we told you. And it's like, that's nice, but we didn't see it. I mean, that's all.
Well, had you not cut me off and run through that rant, what I was going to say is the can of worms is the messaging. And I was going to give another example with the Vox, right? So they are removing, apparently, the collect Vox and Vox announcements from the Gala game server, and they will be moving everything over to the Vox server. They've done that already with music and with film. So they think they're improving the messaging, but instead of having one funnel for all the important announcements, you now have 4 different servers you have to look at for all those announcements. And here's the problem. Most people are going to be muting servers because they're not in there a lot, right? Because, like, for instance, I have the Gala music server muted because when I want to go and get my updates a couple of times a week, I'll go in there. I don't want my Discord filled up with, little numbers of how many things are, and all these crazy. I don't want that.
Well,
it just clutters everything up.
This could be just a Discord problem. A good way we could do the same thing with Gala Film and Music. Put it in the nodes. I mean, right now, the only people doing things with Gala Music are people that have bought the nodes. Okay. If you have an announcement that's very important, make it so that the nodes display a message, full screen or partial screen or something like that.
I don't look at my nodes. I never look at the node.
Jolrick is saying in chat here, there's also the problem of having hundreds and hundreds of channels. If we have 20 games, it will get insane. So that speaks even more. This is why I think Steam has a client that's on top of all the games. And really, I mean, you could play the games without the client. You could just go into Windows and the correct directory and start it up that way. Or you could start it up with the Steam client. Maybe, and I know Gala's website fires off a lot of these games. In that case, you could put it in the Gala website. If you're going to enter a game or enter a node or anything, a central place where you could see that message might do wonders.
And it would have to be really important messages, like when you log into Gala, instead of having that, hey, look what's for sale banner, just you need probably like 30 pixels up underneath the menu with a nice bright color like lime green, important announcements, click here. And that way everybody has that information. If it's something horribly important, like the P-network thing, you expand it from 30 pixels to 60 pixels and you put a couple of sentences in there and read more. And then that way people can get that information. I would bet that people look at the Gala main login page more than they look at anything else, either on Discord or anywhere else.
Yeah, and you can even filter it down if you have, let's see, if you have NFTs for 3 of our 10 games, and you've demonstrated that you've played those games, you'll get the message. If not, you won't. So having the central place to announce this stuff actually gives you options about who to target and how to target people the best. Well, anyway,
well, they do that with the roles now in the Discord, which I think is really cool. I don't get the announcements anymore for the stuff that I'm not really interested in at this point. I only get it for the games I'm interested in. I thought that was a genius idea.
All right. Well, I do need to get going. I need to move a couch, and I know that you have something planned. I think you said something like a movie night, right?
Yeah, every Saturday, because we're always going like hell, and Faz works me like a dog all week long after my full-time job.
For free, mind you.
Yeah. We always designate, ever since my 15-year-old was a little baby, every Saturday night from 8:30 on until 10:30, 11 o'clock, we do family night. And we watch movies, we'll play board games, we'll do something special just as a family. So with kids going with sports, my daughter's a wrestler, and my son's a football player and a basketball player, and everybody going every which way. We always block out that time on Saturday nights. So that's really important to me. And usually Faz and I get together then after game night and continue our banter.
Yes, all the uncensored stuff that we should make a Patreon channel for. But then again, that's when all the conspiracy theories come out. And you have a channel for that, but that's later. You'll have your
own we're getting there. We are upgrading our platform, the CFA platform, on a regular basis. So
yes,
keep tuned.
We have a source for some crypto lessons coming soon.
Yes, we are actually taking it after a year and a half and digging deeper. We've got the ability to do so now. That's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This was pure spur of the moment, and I had a lot of energy and fire, and I just got it all out. And so maybe this is just all therapy for me.
Good deal. Thanks, guys, for listening.
All right. Thank you, guys. Oh, wait, Titan. We have our pre-recorded outro to do. Can you say your thing so that people will know?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, subscribe, and throw some comments below. That helps us, which in turn helps us provide you with much, much better content every week. Thanks for being a listener. Thanks for supporting the channel.
And thanks for sitting through our pre-recorded outro.